Okay, cool. All right. Well, let me just pause that. Okay, Toyota race fans, I'm delighted once again to be joined by Chloe Chambers, who's moved up the countryside from Palmerston North, having just completed round 3 at Manfield. Chloe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you enjoying New Zealand, first and foremost?
Yeah, still loving it just as much as when I first came here. So, yeah, definitely enjoying having some time off in between races and getting to do a little bit of exploring and just, general kind of travel things.
Well, we've also been hit by the weather. I hope you've avoided it so far, but it's been pretty heavy in the North Island.
Yeah, I mean, it's still raining here a little bit, but no flooding like it was a couple of days ago. So that's good to see.
So let's go back to Manfield. A long weekend, a different track. You certainly came out of the blocks good. We spoke on Saturday. How did it go from there on in?
Well, Manfield had a lot of different kinds of just new experiences, I guess. Had our first proper wet race, with the start being wet and then the finish all the way through the race being wet. I mean, I had never had a fully wet race in a car, so it was good to kind of like experience that, especially doing standing starts in the wet, which is a lot different from doing it in the dry. It's a whole different technique. So learning that was good. And then just generally getting more experience driving in the wet was super helpful, and I'm sure it'll come to good use in the future.
Besides the wet, was there any aspect of your racecraft stroke preparation that you were working on with your engineer?
I think just generally getting the technique down of driving both in the wet and the dry, it was sort of the same kind of things that I was working on. I was mainly working on throttle application, and so it was the same trend in both conditions. So it was good to be able to work on it regardless of the weather.
And obviously the emergence of a new driver in Louis Foster. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see some more people coming over and doing the championship or doing the rest of the championship. And I think Louis is a pretty good driver and he's got a lot of experience. So I can definitely take some learning from him, especially in the wet.
Did you have a chance to talk to him about the car and what you were experiencing?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he was pretty helpful in the wet with like watching video and everything. Like he would sometimes give a couple of pointers, but yeah, I mean, he just has a lot of experience driving in the wet, especially coming from England. Obviously it rains there a whole lot more than it does in the US. So it was just good to learn off of his own experiences.
So we move up to Auckland now, or just below in Hampton Downs, about 3/4 of an hour outside of Auckland. A major track, and obviously the biggest race on the New Zealand calendar, the Grand Prix. What have you heard, and what are your thoughts about Hampton? I think you've tested there, right?
Yeah, so when I was here last year in September, I tested at Hampton Downs on both the national circuit and the international circuit. So I've had one day of experience on the international circuit, which is definitely going to be helpful. I feel pretty confident about Hampton Downs. When I was testing, I had some pretty quick times, so definitely looking to make some really good progress this weekend. And obviously, with it being the biggest race of the TRS season, it's going to be pretty cool atmosphere in general for the whole weekend.
And pretty exciting. Your first ever real Grand Prix. Only 2 races outside of Formula One. Macau and New Zealand are allowed to be called a Grand Prix. So that'll be kind of cool on your resume.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely cool to also be like the top class in it as well and kind of have the spotlight on us and have us be the main show, really. It's definitely just cool to have all of the other classes running and to see everybody there and just just how everything is run and the atmosphere of the whole place will probably be super crazy and I'll definitely be having a lot of fun.
And I believe you got family coming back to the Grand Prix, right?
Yeah, so my dad will be here for the Grand Prix. It'll be a pretty cool experience. I think he enjoyed New Zealand a lot when he came here for the first round. So, I mean, this is probably the best round to come to for the Grand Prix.
Chloe, when we first talked, you said the whole point of you coming here was to gain more experience for the season ahead, wherever you race. Are you getting that fulfillment? Are you feeling that this has been a well worth journey? I know we're only just over halfway point, but what are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I've definitely had a ton of learning come from all of this already, and yeah, we're just only halfway through the season, and already I've learned so much, and I'm already kind of thinking to the season ahead of, you know, how I'm gonna pick up from what I've already learned from being here, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to racing later this season as well, and showing my development really.
And pretty cool that if you do the W Series, it's in the same car. And if you don't do the W Series, presumably you will go for something similar.
Yeah, I mean, the driving technique will stick with me. I think I'll kind of carry that on forever, really. And with so much track time here in New Zealand, it's definitely allowing me to get a better feel for that technique and to really perfect it and work on it a lot. So I'll surely be able to carry it into whatever I end up racing this year.
I'm going to say, obviously you've done F4. I saw you there with Oceania in the Future Stars. I also saw you in the W Series, but this is your first real international series where you're amongst some of the up and coming stars of the future. That's been always the story in the Toyota Racing Series. Has that helped give you confidence of where you stand amongst your peers?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a ton of drivers to come out of the New Zealand TRS series, so I guess to know that me and all the other drivers here are, I guess, like the new upcoming talents in motorsports is it's pretty cool to, I guess, see where we stand against each other, and yeah, it's giving me, yeah, definitely a good amount of confidence for the 2023 season.
And Chloe, on a personal level, I'm sure the fans back in America would be keen to know what New Zealand's like and what you're up to. So you've got a few days now before you race again, testing on Thursday. What's your preparation and what will you be doing in those days leading up?
Well, today is pretty much a full off day, so I'll probably be exploring Auckland a little bit, probably go on a one of the sailing cruises around the harbor. So you know, just normal kind of like vacation activities almost, just so that I can have a little bit of downtime and relax a little bit before the racing picks back up again on Thursday.
And Thursday is testing and then Friday practice, and then straight into qualifying Saturday. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And obviously the Grand Prix. Excited?
Yeah, I think I'm probably the most excited for this round. It's going back to a track that I know and I've driven on already. And then, of course, with it being the Grand Prix, the biggest race of the season, I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, let's just remind the folks, if they want to tune in, motorsport.tv is the place to go. And 88 is the number. Monoflow is the sponsor. And Chambers is the name.
Yeah, you heard it here.
Thank you, Chloe. And listen, best of luck. We'll see you at Hampton Downs. Ready to go.
Yep, see you.
Perfect. Thank you. Are you happy with that? Is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
I'll get that to you and your dad. And I'm on the road myself on the way to Auckland, so it might not be till a little bit later, but we'll get it out.
Okay. All right.
Have a great day.
No problem. Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.